Australia's vast interior has long ignited the spirit of pioneers and adventurers. From the moment Europeans set foot on this ancient land, they've etched tracks and trails in their quest for fertile farmland, elusive inland seas, and glittering gold reserves. Many of these routes have earned their place on the bucket list of overlanders and thrill seekers. Tracks like Birdsville, Strzelecki, Oodnadatta, Tanami, and the Gibb River Road, once rugged paths, now stand transformed into gravel highways, scarcely resembling their original forms. Yet a few hallowed routes remain untouched and wild, waiting to be explored by those with a spirit for true adventure. In the heart of Western Australia, a journey of untamed adventure awaits. We've set our sights on the legendary Holland Track, a 180-kilometre four-wheel drive route carved through the largest Mediterranean climate woodland on Earth. Stretching a staggering 17 million hectares, it's vaster than England itself. These ancient lands whisper tales of resilience and raw beauty, a tapestry of broad, flat valleys, granite outcrops, salt lakes, and banded iron formations, linking Australia's southwest corner to its inland deserts. The Holland Track stands as the longest kart road ever made in one stretch in Australia, and the story of its construction is even more remarkable. Join us as we plunge into this rugged landscape, where every turn reveals a new secret, every moment a story waiting to be told. This is no ordinary journey. This is the Golden Outback, where the spirit of adventure knows no bounds.
What's going on, Dar?
We're about 80 k's south of Coolgardie. You may notice we don't have a caravan with us. We're going to tackle the Holland Track from here. It's taken us most of the day and most of yesterday to get ready to go. It surprised us how long it took us to get ourselves sorted to go just away camping away from the van for a few days. Yeah, so we're going to be swag camping it. We've been carrying the swags with us for nearly a year and haven't used them. We're finally using the swags. It's good to be out, and we're going to do some camping and explore some of this region. It's a really fascinating region that we're looking forward to getting in and exploring a little bit more.
The plan is to be away for a few nights, at least probably 3, and I am incredibly nervous about the Holland Track. We're going to tackle it solo without a winch and it rained about 2 days ago. So, and it's notoriously boggy and there's going to be so much mud. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about it, but also really excited because this region is so diverse. There's so much to explore. Don't forget to subscribe. This is going to be wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. You often see single blokes in four-wheel drive convoys doing this sort of stuff. Let's see how we go as a family of 4, hey? I'm sure Simon would love to be doing it with his mates, but he's stuck with me instead.
There's a present in there.
Yeah, Simon packed a present in here for me.
Just be careful when you unroll it. You get it?
Yeah, I got this. All right, hang on a second. Let's find out what this present is. Nice one, Duff.
I couldn't figure out a better way to carry a bottle of wine. Flies, mate. If you see us doing this, we're not waving at you the whole episode. There's a few flies around. Actually, I feel like watching back the footage sometimes, the flies look worse on the footage than they are in real life. But I've already had one for a snack, so I'm good for food for a bit. So this is the first time we've had like both walls up on the awning. This is the sort of the plan from a long way back, was to have a couple of awning walls, get the swags under the awning, and that'll be sort of our living space, so to speak, in here. And we're just going to use the picnic rug as a bit of a ground mat, just for getting in and out of the swags without getting too dirty, because without a doubt there will be some switching of swags at night time with the kiddos. I've still got stuff everywhere. I was still doing projects late last night. I finally wired up the water pump. So some of you will remember I installed a water tank. It's a long range 38 litre stainless steel water tank underneath the car back in Carnarvon, and I never got around to wiring up the pump. So I've now wired the pump to our power system in here. So I've got the pump runs through this switching, which is also, I can switch from my phone. And at the moment I've just got it running to a tap down here. So we've got running water down there. And then I've done this as well. So I grabbed, when we were in Perth, I went to ArkEarth products and grab one of these vent covers with our air is now in here. So this is our air up point for the compressor. And this is our solar input for the battery in the car if we want to run an external solar panel. And this is where I'll be able to get water out as well. I haven't plumbed that up yet, but this will be a water out point as well. So we can just put a shower, outdoor shower, or a hose or something on there. I looked for ages for one of these vent cover panels. They're really hard to find ones that look good. This one looks almost exactly the same as the factory vent that comes off of here, and it's made of powder coated stainless steel, and I love that it just magnetizes shut. It has no latch on it. It just has a couple of magnets in there, so it sticks shut and then easy to open. You don't need any special latches. It just looks seamless with the car, which I absolutely love. I also grabbed a can of this because the Holland Track is known as an alternator eater, especially on a 70 series where they're hung pretty low. So that's going to be my prevention to try and save our alternator. Fun and games all to come. Well, here we are at the top of Victoria Rock, or Queen Victoria Rock, depending on who you talk to. It's one of these granite outcrops that dominates the greater Woodlands region that we're going to be exploring. We're going to tell you a heap more about the Holland Track. It's absolutely fascinating. We're going to take you on a journey back through time, back to the late 1800s, when there was gold discovered up at Coolgardie here, and there was a mad rush to make sure everyone could get there to get the gold out, and John Holland was the man to make it happen. So we'll tell you more about him and his crew and the amazing feat that they did to put this track in as we travel along it. So this rock cairn behind me marks the highest point of Victoria Rock, and John on his journey north actually stood at this exact point, and he could see from here that his destination was in sight. Some 35 odd kilometers from here, he could see the end of where he was trying to push the Holland Track through after having already completed over 500 kilometers from the coast at Albany. An incredible feat, and it's so cool to be standing here almost 130 odd years later. It's just incredible, and it's so cool to be able to journey along the exact track that John pushed in. A lot of the track these days is no longer a four-wheel drive track. It's been upgraded and is now just gravel roads, but there is still this northern section that we're going to tackle that is preserved as a four-wheel drive track. We're going to be doing it in the opposite direction to what John did it when he pushed it through. We're going to be going north to south. I love this stuff. I froth on this. I'm going to do what I should have done a while ago before we even got to this point, which is crack one of these, and then we'll get the swags off and set them up.
We can't think of a better place to spend night one than at the base of Victoria Rock. So we head back down to camp and get set up, ready for an awesome night around the fire, and get settled into the swags for night one of what is going to be one of the biggest adventures we've ever been on.
Well, the flies were getting to the lads a bit, so we set the swag up and they're going in there. That's their fly-free zone in there, and as you can tell, they're a little bit excited about camping in swag. How is it, lads?
Just a couple of camping essentials. Hey lads, guess who's here to visit?
Yay!
We once forgot the sleeping teddies on a camping trip. Never again. That's like the most important piece of equipment you can bring with you if you've got kids, is don't forget the sleep teddies. All right, have fun.
Big.
Because it's thick. This is thin. So we're going to put the long thin ones on before the short fat ones, okay?
I think about you and I want you here with me. Am I out of my mind? Or is this how it should be? You made me sing about love.
This is Harry's trick, just there when it starts to sizzle. See that when I put the stick in, it bubbles around the stick?
Yeah.
That means the oil's hot enough.
Feels like love. Yeah! Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let
You guys on fly duty?
A little crazy for you. A little crazy for you.
Job done.
Are you going that way?
Yeah, I think so.
You're doing like a hot dog.
Yeah.
What?
Alright, let's load this up.
Not at all what I was thinking. Oh, you made a sub. I was going to make burgers. I was going to cut it the other way. But
Alright.
that'll work. I'll make my own.
You will do that. You just got such OCD issues about food and how it should be presented.
If you just do it properly.
You just slap it in and off you go. Look at this. Alright. This chicken is amazing.
How many flies are you going to end up in that?
Ooh, at least 30, I reckon. Conservatively.
That toilet paper holder's in the getting
No
in the
one
way
knows
of the
it's-
shot.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry, it's not a toilet paper holder.
It's, like, don't tell people it's your bog roll. Alright.
Remember where that came from? Sean from Mission 4x4 sent that when I ordered the gull wings. I don't know if it was a joke or if it was an odd gift.
Alright.
If it wasn't a
But
joke.
it's super handy.
It is.
Alright. Now, let's just
What
shoot
about-
those flies.
Is there green stuff on there?
Not for the boys. There's cucumber in there.
Oh, there's cucumber, is there?
No, I've forgotten to put it in. Hang on. Wedge that in there. Add a bit of greenery. We are good to go.
The lads are loading up the fire. They're building a bonfire, I think.
There you go.
Wait, where's my other topping?
Yeah, I cut it sideways.
I know how you feel, James.
Okay, this is your little plate, okay? What do you reckon, James?
Yellow.
Good? Just you have to be careful with it.
I'm going to go all out and cut my bun like a normal person.
I love that you sort of have a domestic about this out in the bush. Like, where are you going to go? You have to share a swag with me tonight, Dar.
You have to share a swag with me, dear man.
No, actually, you could sleep with the kids.
Oh, that's what they would love that.
They would. I would love that, just quietly.
All right, I'm going to load up I already stole a bit of chicken and I know it tastes amazing. I approve of the tomato slicing technique. It's very thin too. I'm impressed. Great knife skills, darling. Didn't know you had it in you. I just can't end on a full compliment. I've got to throw a little dig in there. There's got to be a little dig in there. Bit of cucumber just for the camera. Is that not open yet?
That's not open.
Stitch up.
Oh, and that light coming through the sun there. Perfect.
That light
coming through the sun. That sunlight coming through the trees is what I meant to say. Give us the glory shot.
Oh, thought you'd never ask. All right. This looks pretty good. Do the old Subway trick.
What's the Subway trick?
Where you use the knife to push all the fillings in. If you've never been to Subway and ordered, I'll have everything. They can't fit it all in the sub, so I use the knife to push it in.
I'll get you and the sunlight all at once.
This is going to be least. This will be the least flattering
What is it?
shot ever. That is good. Good first night.
You're a little something here, Dale.
I got something on my face.
Yeah, just there, you got it.
Thanks. All right. Done. I think I need a new beer.
A little crazy for you now.
Very good.
Oh, you went sub.
I went on the 45.
A little crazy for you
gonna
now,
sit on
baby.
How'd you sleep, Harrison?
Really good.
Really good?
How was the swag?
Sort of.
Sort of. Was it okay? Do you want to do it again tonight?
Yes.
Lucky,
Yeah.
because we are.
Yeah. All right. How many wheat bix are you having?
Who slept in your swag?
2.
Mom.
Mum, Dad and James together.
All right. 2 wheat bix for you. How many are you doing, Harrison? 3. And how many are you doing, Dad?
I'll do 4.
And then I've got some special milk for you. Are you ready? How much room there is in this fridge? This is wild. This is wild.
It's not packed well, but
Oh, it was packed well, and then I touched it.
pretty much what I was thinking.
It's milk in a box. You just made a noise. What noise is that?
Long life milk. It just instantly transports me to camping.
Not the fact that we're out in the middle of the WA wheat belt all by ourselves with the swags. It's the long life milk that does it for you.
Yeah.
You wait till I pull out the coffee bags.
Do those swag mattresses get thinner?
Yeah, they do.
Man.
What are you making, honey?
Coffee.
That didn't take long.
Oh, it's a jet board, doll.
No, but I just what do you reckon it's been? 2 minutes?
Something like that, a minute or 2.
Only the finest of coffee bags.
Only the finest that Robert Timms produces.
Add a dash of long life.
A splash of this and a dash of that, and make your dreams come true.
Are you ready to taste camping, darling?
I'm not having high hopes. I can keep the flies out of it for 2 minutes. Oh, that'll do. It's alright, it's coffee. Doesn't taste great, it's coffee.
This is a long way from the dishwasher, isn't it, darling?
Yeah.
All right. You gonna do the dishes for me, buddy?
I
Can you do the drying up?
my hands in that.
No, I'll put my hands in it. Are you gonna do the drying up?
Mama. No.
Nuh-uh. Can't get away fast enough, can you, mate? So I'm just doing the dishes and I hear this, Mum, the drink bottle leaked. What do you mean it leaked? In the swag, everywhere. Now there's half a litre of water all over the bedding in that swag. I've just pulled everything out, put it out in the sun to dry. So might be here for just a little bit longer. It should dry pretty quickly. It is so much more effort to go camping with kids. You should absolutely do it. If you've got kids, it is a lot of effort. I'm not gonna lie, it is so much effort. And they don't always love it, but it's worth it for the values and the time that you instill in your kids. And it was part of, what we really wanted as a family.
Let's get in there, let's go lock the hubs in and go tackle this 4-wheel drive track. Rightio, here we are, the start of the Holland Track, or the end, depending on which way you're going. The start for us, we're at the northern end, obviously, going to head down. It's about 180 k's of 4-wheel drive from here all the way through to the Hyden Norseman Road, where we were a few days back. If you watched our episode where we went and camped at the breakaways, we're going to come out not too far from there. I cannot wait to do this. I'm absolutely frothing. It's probably going to take us, we're allowing at least 1 night, if not 2 nights camping on the track. We'll see how we go, see how the progress goes. We're going to air down here, lock in the hubs, and get into it, eh?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous about the Holland Track. It's renowned for its mud holes. We're solo with the kids and without a winch. So
we're gonna have to be a little bit sensible, but hopefully we get to go and do some of the fun stuff as well.
Yeah, but this one's been on the bucket list for a very long time, and I'm so excited to see what it's about. This region is incredible. We'll tell you more about it on the way.
Still some wildflowers and stuff around, so hoping to see a bit more of that. And yeah, there's going to be some mud, so lots of fun to be had. Let's get these tyres let down and get into it. All right, here we go. Harrison, the Holland Track, ready to do 2 days of 4-wheel driving and camping.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
I really want to see a thorny devil.
Yeah, me too. We'll keep an eye out, eh?
James, do you like 4-wheel driving? A little bit?
Sort of.
Sort of. What do you like?
I like that we get to go in this swag.
You like the swag? How are you feeling, honey?
Yeah, good. Let's do it, eh? Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go.
I think it's going to be very varied. I'm expecting some significant challenging bits, and then some nice cruisy bits and a bit of everything else in between. We've aired down. I've gone a bit lower than the recommended 28. I'm going to put the UHF on 28. Gone 20 in the front and 25 in the back of our car, just for a bit of extra comfort. We'll chuck it on UHF 28 so we can hear any chatter or anyone else on the track, and go see what we can find, eh? Let's do it. And we're straight into it. First puddle. Could be a lot of water around.
Now, this is what the Holland Track is famous for, is big, deep mud holes. Now this one obviously is dry. Most of the ones we've come across so far are dry, but we're expecting as we get further down the track, some of these are gonna have water in them. Now to do this solo with no winch, initially I was pretty nervous, and a few people have said be careful, which is fair enough, but for the most part, and so far, every single one of them's got a bit of a chicken track around the outside as well. The sign at the start of the track does ask that you try and avoid the mud holes as much as possible. I mean, there's a bit of a kid in all of us. We'll tackle a few of them, but we're definitely going to be selective about which holes we venture into and which ones we leave alone. But I'm actually going to drive through this one just to see how our clearance goes, just to test it out in some of these holes. Because if these holes are made by people with 35-inch tyres or bigger, and our little 33s come through, we may get hooked up, which is not going to matter where it's dry, but it's a good test for when it gets wet later on.
Hey Dale, it's really hard to see how deep those ruts are. Just go step in the bottom of it. Yeah, that's the bottom of the rut.
Yeah, so that's what you can see there, like our little 33s are. I mean, if that was muddy, obviously it's a bit different when it's hard packed, but that's what will hang you up in these holes and stop you from getting out again.
That was the bit at the back.
Yeah, the diff pumpkin.
The diff at the back, yeah.
Because that's your clearance. That's what tyres do, is they lift your diff. The only way to lift your diff is either portals or bigger tyres. Now,
and we considered both.
We considered both, and we're engineered for 35s. I'd love to be running 35-inch muddies to be able to do this sort of stuff, but I mean, how often do we do this? We do 99% of our time just touring, so 33-inch ATs do the job. But yeah, I'd love some muddies, 35s, and one day. Whoa.
Whoa.
We're still in
is that what you call a skid mark? Just leave skiddies on the track.
Can't take you anywhere. Right, let's go.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
This would be over our car.
It's full, yeah.
Far out. Look at that, that's my wing mirror.
Well, this is pretty wild. We just pulled up here in this bog hole. It's dry, but just to show how deep and big some of these bog holes can get. The side of the bog hole is probably level with the bottom of the windows in the car. It's she's a deep one.
Let's go!
Alrighty, we just got to Thursday Rock, so this is a bit of a side track just off the main Holland Track, and it's timed it well. It's pretty much lunchtime, so we're going to do this as a lunch stop. A couple of doozies of bog holes that we went around, which, yeah, I mean, I've got to be a little bit sensible. Family on board, solo, no winch. We can't go too crazy, but we will dabble in the muddy stuff as we go along. But yeah, for now, we'll have a bite to eat. Little leftover chicken from last night.
Chicken from last night with the cucumber that's half frozen.
Yeah, I might have had the fridge.
Is a bit.
Well, because it's normally Yeah, look, so some of the veggies got frozen because it's normally my beer fridge, so I have it turned pretty much as cold as it can go, and it makes the beers like ice cold but doesn't quite freeze them.
Yeah.
But it does freeze spinach, cucumber, tomatoes, carrots, everything's a bit frozen. But anyway, now you will notice this is our bag of clothes, that's all that is, and I'm using the beer box for a lot of odds and ends. We do have the Starlink with us, and we were very unsure, 50-50 about whether to bring the Starlink. We certainly don't need it as far as like getting online to do anything. We're having a few days off, a break I should say, from social media and stuff, which is absolutely awesome, and that's a big reason we wanted to do trips like this, is just to get detox and just get away from it all for a little bit. But I think particularly after the dramas we had with the diff up in the Pilbara, if you haven't watched those episodes, we had basically a diff failure while we were up in quite remote part of the Pilbara. And it's just got us a little bit gun shy, I think. We're like, well, Starlink's sitting there. We'd feel silly if we didn't take it with us and then we had a breakdown or a medical emergency or something, and we had no two-way communication, because our other form, apart from our UHF, our other form of emergency communication is the PLB. So this is I don't think you can even buy this anymore, this particular one, but I think GME sell one. There's a couple of companies that make them, but they're a personal locator beacon, which is essentially an EPIRB, which we can set that off, and that sends out an emergency signal via GPS to let people know where we are and that we need help. But it's a one-way form of communication. They can't communicate back with us. There's no way to send messages or anything like that. But the advantage to it is there's no subscription to it. It's completely free once you've bought the unit. They're about $300. They last 10 years. Pretty cheap insurance if you ask us. So we've had that since before we started traveling full time. We used to use it for camping trips and everything else as well. So I guess the short story of that is we Starlink there. I mean, we could turn that on, we could have a connection, we can do video calls, we could do anything to get medical advice. So we could, if one of the kids or us, something happened, we could get two-way sort of video calls or whatever we needed to do to figure out whether we did need to set off the PLB or call for emergency services, or whether we could sort it out ourselves. The downside is it's pretty bulky and we don't really have anywhere else to put it. It doesn't fit in the tread boxes, it doesn't fit anywhere else, so it has to just go there, which is fine. But I'm pretty keen to maybe look at getting the Starlink Mini.
I was going to say, yeah, we've got plans for the Mini.
I think, at the moment it's just really expensive to buy, so I'm waiting for the price to come down a little bit. But as soon as it starts to come down a little bit, which it inevitably will, we're definitely going to look at Starlink Mini and have that as an internet solution in the car, which would be wicked. Anyway, for now we're going to have flies and chicken for lunch, eh?
So true. I was just thinking, as soon as you pull out any food, it's like you are a beacon for every fly within a kilometre.
But how good's outdoor living, Dale?
So good. Outdoor living, so good.
You ready for lunch, H? Oh, you're going to be the swatter. What do you think of the track so far, Harrison?
Really good. It's really fun, and it would be really fun if Dad didn't drive past all the exciting bits.
Oh, you're a bit bummed because Dad went around all the really fun bits.
Yeah.
No thorny devils yet, but we did see plenty of emus, didn't we?
Yes.
How many emus do you reckon we've seen so far? What do you reckon the emu count is?
4.
4 emus. I reckon there's 5. I think we've seen 5. 2 pairs and another one. But anyway, maybe I've seen more than you. But still keeping our eyes peeled for a thorny devil, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's mine.
No, that's mine. Don't bugger off.
That's mine.
Don't stop it.
Passenger princess is stealing my beer.
I know. You offered. The other thing at the moment with the weather, it's mid-spring at the moment. It is 100% snake season out here. So we're always making sure we've got lots of first aid gear on board. I am such a stickler. I think every traveller, every car should have a first aid kit in it. This is our snake bite kit. This has got some really cool bandages in it that they're rectangles, and when you put the right pressure on, they go to squares, so you know you've got it strapped at the right pressure. And it's also got splints, inflatable splints in there as well, so you can immobilize things really, really well.
It's not actually inflatable. I always thought it was. It's not inflatable. It's like a wraparound splint. It's a portable splint.
It's a portable splint.
Yeah.
And then we've got the remote module here, which has got some extra bandages and things like that if we need it for bites, stings, and other things that you're going to come across out in the bush. And then in the front, we've got our vehicle one mounted up to the molly panel up here.
To have it so that we can jump in here and get instant access to everything we need, and everything's laid out and organised where we can find it. I just hate to think in an emergency, if it's going to be a stressful situation, you're not going to want to be fumbling around looking for first aid gear.
I've already used it 3 times already just yesterday.
We were saying we were joking about how we should do a Band-Aid count for the trip. And
Oh man, we're already I think at 4 Band-Aids deep, and it's been less than 24 hours. Yeah, I would say we have a high frequency of minor injuries. Like I said, we used that 4 times yesterday, but it's nice to know that we've got all the gear if we did have a major one.
Alrighty, lunch is done. Let's go up this rock.
We're not hiking up the rock.
Hey?
We're not going up this rock.
Are we?
What?
You want to hike up the rock?
2 hikes in one day?
It's only a short one. It's probably just another rock, to be honest. Do you not want to do it?
No, I want to get on the road.
Yeah, let's
get
do
to camp. I want
yeah.
to drink beers at camp.
We'll skip the rock then, eh? You can see it from here. It's a big granite rock. Yeah, we'll get on the road and get up to something.
If you were bringing a horse, you could stop here and water your horse on the rock.
If you had, if you're doing it by horseback, if you've been really traditional, there's a fly right in the middle of that lens.
Get over it.
You have no idea.
You can't see it.
Trust me, you can see it. You just can't see it on that tiny little screen. Yeah, if you had your horse along, you could take it up there and get some water. We'll tell you more about that later.
Here we go with the same old thing. Like I said something just to ruin your mood and clip your wings. I would buy you a diamond ring if you made me feel like you were queen and I were king. God only knows that I'm better off being without you. God only knows that I'm trying to do what I want to.
We're on another one of these rocky sort of granite outcrops that you get all along this area, and this is where you find these, which are, I think they're called nammers. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll put it up on screen, but they're a vital water source for way back when the indigenous people travelled these areas, but then even early Europeans as well. People like John Holland on his expedition, they use these water holes obviously to water the horses and themselves. Back at Victoria Rock where we were this morning, there was sort of what they call pan nammers, which are quite open, flat ones. And the track here, interestingly, sort of comes to this point and then turns and heads a different direction. So we've just been sort of in the car trying to figure out like how they chose which way to run the track, which way to go, and I think this is a big part of it, is they probably went from waterhole or rocky outcrop to rocky outcrop. So we've just come from where we had lunch at the other rock outcrop, and then the track pretty much cuts straight through to here. So these were obviously a vital part of not only John and his team when they were cutting the track in, but then for the thousands of people that were to traverse it from Albany all the way up to Coolgardie, which would have been quite a journey back in those days. We're talking pre-motor cars, any sort of mechanical sort of machinery or anything like that. It's all horseback and on foot. So amazing that they cut the track in the first place, and then the thousands of people that did the journey. I've got to say the variety of the terrain and the vegetation in particular, as even just in the few kilometres we've driven, is pretty incredible. It changes so quickly and dramatically, but there's just so many awesome like plants that we've just never seen before. It's a really enjoyable drive so far. A couple of crappy little corrugated sections, but overall just a really cruisy drive and just stunning scenery, awesome landscapes. It's just, and feels so remote. We haven't seen another car yet, and I've been calling regularly on the UHF and getting absolutely nothing. So if there is anyone out here that don't have the UHF on or they don't want to talk to me, but yeah, we haven't seen signs of anyone. It's it's definitely got that remote feel, which is awesome.
I don't know what Simon's talking about. I was driving the gnarly stuff, all the twisty, windy stuff that was straddling all the ruts, while he was flying the drone getting that amazing footage for you all. That's where all the gnarly stuff was. No, not really. I'm really enjoying driving and being out here a lot more than I thought I would. And that is a lot to do with the options you've got. Like we said, there is a lot of chicken tracks around the really gnarly stuff so far. And today we just wanted to make a bit of distance along the track, mostly because it took us so long to pack up, and after we went for our walk this morning, I think we were a little bit nervous about getting the track done in the time frame that we want to get it done in. But yeah, there's definitely some gnarly stuff to be had, and I was doing it. Ready?
Wow.
What?
So I'm just, while we were pulled up, I thought I'd have a quick look at how far along the track we are, how we're going for progress.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon we're less, maybe 10%.
Far out.
Yeah, we better get a reel on. We better get some Ks in this afternoon. It's 10 to 2. Where yeah, we've got to get some driving done. Get in, darling. Let's get out of here. Did you get wet? Did you? As we drove through it, Alison goes, oh, Mum's wet.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and beating. I guess we all knew from the start.
We just scraped something massively, so I was like, yeah, let's send it. And I was too busy just holding on for dear life that I didn't film it. Oh my goodness. What is he doing? No, don't look at that one. Look at him. What are you doing that for?
I've got to be honest, I was a little bit tempted to do this one. It's quite a deep one and it looks like it hasn't been driven for a while, but like a nice crusty top. Or so I thought. It's just soup. Obviously 2 big ruts where the wheels go. Oh, it stinks. Anyway. Yeah, it seems silly to do it this time of day, get stuck, get dirty, everything else. I think we'll leave that one.
Take my advice. Have you lost your will for the saving? Are you finally going insane? Getting so fed up with believing, comatose, still alive.
All right, we've just come up on a bit of a decent water hole, a bit of a mud hole that I'm pretty keen to have a crack at. I can't do the whole Holland Track without having a crack at least a couple of mud holes. So I'm just gonna give the alternator a bit of a spray with WD-40. I don't think this one's particularly deep, but at least I don't have to worry about it if we come up on a few more that we want to do. Then I'll probably give it another spray in the morning as well before we set off and do some more of this sort of stuff. But just to try and save the alternator as much as we can.
What is it that, like, why, like?
Water and, well, alternator is a generator basically, so it generates electricity. Water and mud gets in it, it doesn't generate electricity anymore. It doesn't do a very good job, so your battery won't charge and causes all sorts of other issues.
Okay. What is the alternator? Where will I find it?
You won't be able to see it.
Oh, right.
How good was that? Love it. Took half the mud hole out with it. Just watching the footage back on the camera of that bog hole and we lost the number plate. Number plate come off. I'm going to have to go for a swim, I think, and try and find it.
Do you want me to come in there with you? Do you want me to send the kids? Oh no.
Where do you reckon it came off?
Well, where did it land? Maybe there?
Well, this shows how deep the ruts are. I'm in the right wheel rut where the car went. I've just reviewed the footage. We're trying to see, yeah, where it came off and what direction it went. I'm worried now that we've, oh, there's the other rut. That's a fly. That we drove over because it flew off forward. the number plate, and then I'm worried we drove over it and it might be buried in the mud. But it's
We're gonna find it. It's
Yeah, I'm just trying to
hundreds of
work-
dollars and a massive effort.
massive stuff around, especially because we're registered in New South Wales, so I don't even want to think about how to try and get another plate. And they're expensive. But yeah, I'm just trying to work up and down each rut and then in between the ruts and trying to figure out. Oh! You! Yeah, boy! Look at that. Look at the force of the water. It's ripped the screws like gunshots through the metal and out. Bit of panel beating. We'll put that bad boy back on. I think we might leave that off for the rest of the Holland Track, just quietly. I think we'll worry about that when we get back to civilization. That water is gross. My legs, I just got a tan. It's like a spray tan. Except for this bit, obviously missed out on the spray tan.
I knew you'd find it. I had full faith.
Never been so happy to see a piece of metal. Oh, I should get my pants.
If I hadn't filmed it and then reviewed the footage with Simon, like just on the other side of that mud hole, we would never have spotted that. And so we would have driven all the way into camp and then probably not even noticed until later. And you'd forever be wondering where you lost it.
So it's safe to say that mud hole was a little bit deeper than I was expecting. I sort of poked it all with a stick and the ruts seemed like they weren't too bad, but I couldn't reach to the middle, which obviously is where the deepest rut was the right-hand tyre went through. We only just clawed our way out of it. All right, let's go. Alternator's still working, so that's a good sign. Let's see if there's any more fun coming up before camp. I reckon we'll probably look for camp soon. Yeah, we got the number plate back, buddy. I found it in the soup, the chocolate milk soup. Yeah, I reckon it's 4 o'clock. We'll probably start looking for a camp now. If this is what day one is, we got some fun coming up. Let's go find camp. I think there's a beer calling my name, and get a fire going and get some dinner on.
These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes
Someone went and took us to a giant mud puddle and got us all muddy.
That's all right.
Oh man, I've been dreaming of this since I had one at lunchtime. I love this. Get in my belly. Man, what a cracking day. You know, I was a little bit concerned. I don't know, not concerned, probably a strong word, but I had that feeling that maybe, you know, when you're coming to somewhere like the Holland that I've been wanting to come here for years, and everyone talks it up and it's such a good track and it's good. It's just sometimes when there's all that build up, a place just doesn't quite live up to your expectations or you sort of what you're hoping for. This has exceeded it. It's just, even though it's drier, I think we're about to come into a wetter section if the last few Ks have got anything to go by. But yeah, I think, man, just what an awesome touring track this is. I can see why it's just so popular and why so many people come here. Yeah, what an incredible track. I really hope, like, the Land Cruiser Club of WA are doing a fantastic job to maintain, not that there's any maintenance done on the road, but just, looking after the track. I hope it stays open. I hope it's not one of these tracks we see get closed, because it's just an awesome, iconic touring route. We've seen hardly any rubbish around it. It seems like the vast majority of people that use this track and come out here are doing the right thing, and that is awesome, because that's exactly what we need to see to keep places like this open for us to be able to come and explore and enjoy. I mean, I think I saw one beer can that we picked up at, and that was at Elizabeth Rock. No, Victoria Rock, other Queen, wrong Queen. Yeah, that was a Victoria Rock, so yeah, it would get visited by a lot more people than here on the Holland Track. So look, yeah, if you come out here, anywhere you go in the country, look after it, because my kids are getting to enjoy this and I want their kids to enjoy this as well. So thanks to everyone that is looking after it and doing the right thing, because what a special part of the world. What an awesome adventure, and we're only halfway through it. There's so much more to come. Let's get a fire going, get some dinner on, and get these swags out, hey lads?
Can you go get the sticks?
Yep.
You're on sticks.
What do you got to watch out for?
Snakes.
Snakes.
What are you limping for? What have you done? Did you hurt yourself? Hey, that's my seat.
I think what surprised me is just how much I've been enjoying this track as well. I was a little bit apprehensive that it was just going to be like a four-wheel drive mecca, like only people who love four-wheel driving would enjoy. But the scenery is amazing. It's so much fun out here. Just camping out of the swags again with the kids and having that family time, and this is amazing. This is so much better than I thought it would be, and I'm really loving it. So, you know, I had I drove a bit today too. That was really fun. Like, there's nothing that's super gnarly that you couldn't tackle or take the chicken track. So far.
Yeah.
Band-Aid count number, what's this, number 103? No, I think it's number 7.
5 or 6. Yeah. Can you
Here
grab
you
me
go.
one more there?
Oh yeah, oh God.
I hurt my thumb.
That was for James, but
No, isn't that for
that was
Harrison?
for Harrison. Does anyone else get their kids just call them the wrong name? My mum used to do it to me all the time, but how big's yours? How big's your injury?
Oh, my injury.
How big's yours?
Oh, about that big?
I think everyone's big. Yeah, okay. You want a big Band-Aid or a little Band-Aid?
No, just a normal one.
Just a normal one? Band-Aids grow on
Save
trees around here.
Save the big ones for big hurts.
Oh man. There you go.
That one's worth with some wood.
Alrighty, before the sun goes down, we better knock up our dinner. The kids have just had theirs. Now they just had a very basic toasty in the jaffle maker. We're gonna do ours a little bit fancy. Now they're kind of like, they're a bit of a bastardized version of a Reuben. So we've got some Silverside that we cooked before we came, when we were back at the van. So our sandwiches are pretty much gonna be some Silverside, chucked on some bread. Nice easy one tonight. We had a big day on the tracks. A lot of fun though. Gee, we were just sitting here off camera and just saying how good this feels. Like, we've got to, even Harrison said, we've got to do this more often. Like, just get away from the van. It always feels like a lot of effort, and that's primarily why it doesn't happen. But yeah, we do need to do it more. Now, we love a good Reuben sandwich, and I'll tell you a bit of a story in a minute about Reubens. We're going to do ours with, normally they'd have sauerkraut, but we love our spicy, and this is kimchi. So this is like a Korean, if you haven't heard of kimchi before, it's like a Korean fermented cabbage and carrot and stuff. So it's kind of like a Korean version of sauerkraut. I think the Japanese have kind of adopted it. I think plenty of other countries have adopted it too. So a bit of kimchi on there. And then Swiss cheese. So we're going to do a bit of fancy cheese with holes in it.
Double?
Well, of course, can't have too much cheese. So years ago, when we lived in Canberra, we went away camping with our mates Mel and Pete, who, if you've watched the channel for a while, you'd know Mel and Pete. Same Mel and Pete that we were on Ningaloo and stuff with. And we had a camper trailer, and back then they were tent campers, and we were sort of the first in our friends group to get a camper trailer and sort of upgrade from swag or tent camping. And we were going on this one trip down near Cooma, and we said, don't worry about bringing a thing, you know, as far as cooking gear goes. We've got all the cooking gear in the camper. There's no point us all taking 2 lots of cooking gear, and completely forgot all the cooking gear. So we get down for a 3-day camping trip over a long weekend down to near Cooma, and yeah, we had absolutely no cooking gear. Luckily, the national park where we were camping had one of those swing over barbecue plates that went over the fire, and so we were able to we had to quickly figure out how to adapt all the meals that we'd planned to cook on a barbecue plate effectively. We had no way to boil water. We were using empty beer cans in the fire to boil water, to do dishes, and to have hot water bottles, because it was also the middle of winter and it was -4 overnight. So a wild trip. Just one of those ones that's like, it's when things go wrong is when things are the most memorable, and that one will stand out in our minds for a long time. And whenever we get asked like, what's your biggest camping fail, for us that was pretty much it. But it actually made for one of the best trips we've ever had. So, and Mel and Pete would actually agree. If you ask them, they'd agree.
How does that got anything to do with Rubens?
Oh, how does that relate to Rubens? That's a good question. So how that relates to Rubens, I'm just putting some seeded mustard on as well. I'm going to put that on the other side. So how that story relates to Rubens is that one of the meals we did there was Reuben sandwiches. Now I think Reuben, we did toasties on that barbecue plate, just with a bit of alfoil that we had to recycle for the trip because we were pretty low on alfoil as well. Now I think a Reuben traditionally has isn't silverside or corned beef. It's well, it is, but it's pastrami, so it's got all the peppers and stuff on the outside. But this is our version for today. So kimchi, Swiss cheese, a bit of silverside and seeded mustard on the lid. Have I missed anything, Liz?
Just thinking.
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Well, that's it for this one anyway. I'm gonna chuck them in our
butter.
Hey?
Butter.
Yeah, so I'm going to chuck them in our Jaffle iron. Get that out of the way. I'm no Harry Fisher, that's for sure. Tell you what, if you see behind the scenes of Harry's setup, not like our, one camera, one torch. Look at this head torch is our lighting that we're running at the moment. Something we do have to get sorted out that I sort of knew about, but has definitely reared its head on this trip is we've got to get some lighting sorted in the back of the car. We need lights up here and we need some better lighting in the back end of the car. We've got absolutely nothing, and we're relying on torches and phones and head torches and stuff. So I'm just gonna get some butter because no toasty is complete without butter. All right, butter's melting because this is still a bit warm from when the kids had theirs. These are gonna be wicked. If we don't see you again tonight, we'll tell you all about it in the morning. Bit of butter on this one, on this side. Oh, that missed.
We don't need any more Band-Aids today, darling.
I know, right?
We're over our Band-Aid quota.
I didn't know we were on a quota. Neither did the kids, apparently. Gotta get some coals and get this happening, eh? That is our quick and easy dinner tonight.
Alright, show me what you made me.
Here we go. Oh yeah, they're ready. Alright, let's take them up. Open.
You can smell how good that is.
Not at home, they can't. Oh, that's gonna be so good. A toast, you can't really go wrong with toasties, can you? I mean,
So good. Is it hot? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed part 1 of this epic adventure. Join us next week as the Holland Track continues to deliver and we uncover a little bit more of John's story. You don't want to miss this one. See you next Sunday.
Well, handy.
do you know what looks really good in all this footage? It's my beer box.
I know.
How much do you love it?
So much. Oh no. Oh, I've muffed it.
Can you stop recording? And the amount of flies on it, there's 4 flies on the lens.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It does look a bit like cluster. A shit fight? What's another word? What's a nice way to say that?
A disaster? Bomb
A disaster.
I also found a lot of bones around a fire pit, so I reckon someone's caught an emu and cooked it up.
Yeah, maybe. Ugh, I'm too old for this shit.
This is behind the scenes getting the thumbnail.
Of course, you're filming right now. Wicked day on the tracks tonight. Can't wait to... Wicked day on the tracks tonight.
How many beers deep are you, darling?
Had 14 beers and I'm stumbling over me words. Yeah, so yesterday I had to pull them off. I should find a different phrase for that.
I just got mud splattered on my face getting that shot. Oh dear, just a few extra freckles for Liz.